first thing I'd like to do before we get started here is, as you all may know already, since it is approximately 2:45 here, about 11 o'clock today in El Paso, they had a mass shooting at a Walmart, and El Paso is our neighbor. We're like 45 minutes away from El Paso. I would like to send out condolences and wish that y'all pray for all the people who have lost someone down there today and all the injured, and pray for swift justice on the person who has committed these acts. It's unfortunate, and it was very shocking for us to see it hit this close to home here. We don't yet know what's going on, but again, I hope that everybody's prayers go out to these folks, and we are sure feeling sorry for everybody who has been involved in it down there today. But let's get on to video 52. Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today we're going to do the ACT3 update 52. Not a whole lot to show you, but I've got some ideas up here, and I'm going to throw them at you and tell you what I plan on doing here. So, let's get into it. Okay, everybody, today we're going to take you on a little drone shot here. I've been playing around with all the buildings and things that I have, and this is what I've come up with, at least for this area up to about there. The tourist trap is going to be there. The trailer for the people who operate it is going to be there. The Hogan is going to be an attraction there, and I decided to use this gas station over here, which is a gas station which is going to be in direct competition with Brownie's over here. Brownie's been in business a long time. His station is not up to date, so he probably loses out on a lot of traffic. But anyway, to get to the point is, I laid these buildings all out, and I'm going to start with this area. I laid these buildings all out here, and then I pulled them up. I laid a paper template out there and traced out where I needed to cut my tar paper. I then cut the tar paper just like I always do with the roads, and then I just adhered the tar paper down. Now I will use whatever tar paper I need for parking and so forth, and then there will be scenery on top of anything else. And then of course ballast on the track behind. Now I want to talk just real quick before I move on to the city area there. I'm going to talk to you how I glued this down, because it's a little different than I've talked about in the past. Okay, in the past when I've put down the roads and I do the scenery work, I have a little bit of curling and stuff on the edge of the road because I've been putting the road down with hot glue, which obviously doesn't glue the entire road down. So when I put the water on there, it tends to curl on the edge. Now let me show you what we're going to do to defeat that. Okay, what I used this time is the Woodland Scenics foam tack. I just happened to have some of it. Not exactly sure what's in it. It looks like white glue, kind of smells like white glue, kind of like all their products. However, you put it on and it's a lot like contact cement. You put it on one side and then you let it dry to the time that it's clear, and you do the same thing with the other surface and it becomes just like contact cement. I have enjoyed using this stuff on the foam out here, and I have now found out that it works extremely well for gluing down the tar paper. I glued along this edge right here, and I mean it is really down now. I can go back in there, I can do painting, I can do all that, and I don't expect to have any curling, simply because I can't even pick it up with my fingernail. Any of these places that I did before where I didn't glue it down, and I don't know, yeah, you can see that's plastic, however, but nevertheless, I don't have any place, maybe over here. Well, it's kind of unfair, but anyway, take my word for it. If you wet it, it tends to curl on the edges. unless you really have it glued down along the side. Anyway, I coated the back side of this piece of tar paper, and then I coated the foam where it was going to go, and I laid it down, and I don't expect to have any problems with it. I'll let you know if I do, and if I do, we'll move on to some other technique. But that's kind of how I got that piece of tar paper down. Now let me move on to the city here and talk about that for just a minute. Okay, if I stand back here where you would normally be standing to kind of view this without going all the way up against the fascia, you can see that even without trees, the town is kind of starting to take some kind of shape there. I got rid of that one large mobile home. I think I'm going to keep the two smaller ones over there, and then the real small ones are the Woodland Scenics pre-made ones with lights. I don't know if I'll put any lights in those other ones, but nevertheless, you have a mobile home park at the end. We're going to have our narrow gauge caboose inside of a fence at the end down here. There'll be kind of a circular area to make a U-turn here and go back through town, such as it is, the businesses that are here. And then there'll be a street behind the businesses that feeds the backs of the businesses and feeds the fronts of the houses along the hill back there. And I was going to go with all these southwestern houses and stuff, and I had all these houses, and I had some southwestern houses out there, and I wasn't real wild about how it was coming out. I had these buildings already made, including the bar, which is of course on the corner. The road will come off of the crossing here and then turn and go down, and it'll go straight across, and it'll turn and go down this way. It'll kind of be a four-way deal there. Kind of a five-way, because this will eventually go over and meet into that, basically a loop. It'll be a loop that goes around there, comes around here, and goes back through town. I'm not sure about that hotel. I have a couple other buildings out there. In fact, I have another hotel that I may substitute for that one. I need a church. I also have a church I could substitute for that one. You guys have seen it. It's the red church that I had before. And I've got a couple of small structures here, the new little cabin and stuff. And I'm not exactly sure whether they will stay there or if I'll go with something else there as well. But it's going to require something relatively small. Pardon me, relatively small there. I've got the lunch stand that's going to go in here somewhere. I may put it over here somewhere along the road, down by the new gas station over there probably, something like that. Here we have Sierra Madre Packing. That's going to be a chili packing plant, and I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to stay. And if you'll notice next to that, they're building a new business there. I'm not sure what that business is, and I'm not sure exactly where it's going to be. I think we're going to slide it over more towards the crossing and maybe put it up at the level of the crossing right here. In other words, we may set it up on something here. But it's possible that it could be the new bank building. It could be just about anything. But whatever it is, they're building it. I like the structure, so I think we're going to turn it into, instead of a home, it's going to be being built as a business there. We still have the taco stand on the corner. Pretty much that's how the city's going to be laid out. I kind of like this. I've tried buildings in all different places there, and this is really the best situation I can come up with and still have some of the necessities that they need in a town, such as a pawn shop, of course, and a little supermarket and a barber, and what else do we got down there? Beer and cigarettes, and then we have the bar on the corner, and we have some other businesses that are really generic because that building is actually designed to just face the other way. There's not much on the other side of it. Same thing with those buildings in the back. So I have roads and street lights and stuff to put in there. I'm going to use the same technique that I used out here for the tourist trap. I've taken a picture with my phone of where those buildings are located so that I know where to put them back. I need to make a template there do all of that in asphalt, and then if I want to do anything on top of the asphalt, any other scenery, I can either cut the asphalt out or put the scenery on top of the asphalt. But that will give me an asphalt base for the whole, basically the whole town area. Then once I get over here, let me move this bottle. Once I get over here, I have a lot of buildings stashed over here. I've said it before, the bowling alley may stay here. I'm not real positive. But anyway, the road, this piece of track is just sitting here. But the road is going to go back out here right along the edge of the hill and go, pardon all my trash, it's going to go all the way down along the hill there. All the way down to that grain dealer way down there at the end. So that's the next thing I've got to do is once I get the city template done, I'll probably put a seam in the road right back here behind Sierra Madre so it's not so noticeable, and then I will start doing the road going out to the other end of the layout there. And like I say, using the new gluing technique, that should be a much better job than what I had back there in the background. Which doesn't show very much, but it annoys me. So, that being said, that's about it for update 52. I do have one other thing to show you before we go, and we'll talk to you later. Okay, what I was going to throw in here is I just got these three models, the Volkswagen, the Ford GT40 Mark II, and the Chaparral 2E. They're IMC models. They are very difficult and very expensive. That Chaparral I've seen going for as high as $140. The Mark II usually goes in good condition anywhere from $50 to $80, and that Volkswagen anywhere from $110 to $130 in good condition. I scored all those for under $100, and the two top kits were in their heat shrink. However, they had been in a flooded basement, so the boxes were pretty toast. I disassembled the boxes, and if you can imagine this, I went to the trouble to iron the boxes with an iron and got the boxes all straightened out. Even though they still show some water damage, it makes the box good enough to put the kit back into. I will more than likely build those. I've always wanted that Chaparral kit. The kit is good. The only thing that was bad in either one of those two kits was the decals, of course, because they got saturated. But the instructions, all the parts and everything are good to go. The Volkswagen kit has been started, but I believe that all the pieces are there, and if they're not, I think I can round up the pieces or make pieces to fix the ones that aren't there. That Volkswagen can be built as a front engine Hemi dragster, and that's probably the way I would eventually build that. So considering that you're in good condition, you're looking about $300 there. I thought I was fortunate to get them for about $90. So I consider that a good deal, and it's just three more kits to add to my collection here if I ever get to building anything. But to me, it doesn't matter. But anyway, I just thought you might want to see those. What else can I tell you here? Not much of anything. Not anything new or different on this end of the layout. So we'll let you go for today. Okay, everybody. Hope you enjoyed update 52. And as usual, what do I say? Thanks for watching.